Well, good afternoon to all. I would like to start by thanking Thomas for the invitation to participate in this seminar, which is a true challenge for me, because I must say that I'm not used to this kind of virtual environment, so forgive me for any mistake or any less coordinated movements. Well, I work at the University of Coimbra at the Faculty of Psychology and Educational Sciences, and I am a member of the Portuguese team that participated in the EU-founded project Cyber Training. The Portuguese team includes also João Amado and Teresa Pessoa. João Amado was the coordinator of the team. Today, the information and the data that I will present about the problem of cyberbullying in Portugal is based in the country report, as Thomas said previously. The country report that we elaborated for a cyber training project, and as the report was presented in 2009, I tried to update some data to present you today. Before I proceed, I would like to ask you if it is possible that you present yourselves, that you tell something about you, like, for example, what kind of relation you have with this project. Is it okay?
Well, for me it's okay. I think you can either type or you can use voice as you like.
Hi, Dionis. Okay. Claudia. Well, welcome to this seminar. I will present. Before I start, please feel free to stop me and ask me questions or participate if you want. Okay? If I will try to answer your questions, and if I don't know, I will check, and maybe later I can send you the answers to your questions by mail or any other way, okay? I will present an overview of the cyberbullying problem and the research initiatives, the political priorities and approaches and best practice in Portugal. I will start by describing very briefly the Portuguese educational system, presenting some data about the country, and then give you some information on the evolution of ICT use. And then I will describe the research on cyberbullying in Portugal and highlight some initiatives and measures, governmental and non-governmental measures to prevent and tackle cyberbullying. Portugal is a small country with a population of about 10.5 million and is divided for statistical purposes in mainland and two islands, Açores and Madeira. About 64% of the population is under 14 years old, 66.2% are between 15 and 64, and finally, over 65 years old, we have 74%. The literacy rate in Portugal has been increasing over the years and is presently around 93.3%. With regard to the educational system, the compulsory education begins at 6 years and lasts 12 years. The 9 years of basic education are divided into 3 cycles, and a very recent measure established that the secondary education is compulsory. It was very recent, in 2009, and secondary education, now compulsory, covers the 10th, 11th and 12th grades. Although in Portuguese schools there is no specific anti-bullying curriculum, there is a nationwide initiative of the Ministry of Education, which is the Project for Health Education. This project requires schools to include in their educational projects the issue of health education. And there are several subjects that are covered in the context of the project for health education, like, for example, physical activity and eating, consumption of psychoactive substances, sexuality, and also violence at schools. And so it is in the context of this project that many schools choose to address violence, the subject of violence, bullying, and cyberbullying. In the context of their autonomy, they can choose the subjects to cover, and we have many schools recently asking us to participate, for example, in workshops, conferences, training sessions for students, for parents, and it's very interesting because more recently we had the opportunity to use the training manual produced in the context of the project, the cyber training project. Another measure that is implemented at a national level is the Safe School program. The Safe School program is designed to prevent or reduce violence and bullying in schools, with the support of the security forces. And another measure was the creation of the Observatory of Safety in Schools. The Observatory of Safety in Schools collects and processes information of the situation of indiscipline, violence, and bullying, and also tries to disseminate institutions' best practices. In schools, there is also a mission team for school safety, which is responsible for articulating Safe School program with the Observatory of Safety in schools. And in the context of these initiatives, there is a safety delegate teacher whose duties are to coordinate the school initiatives with the Safe School program and to report the violence bullying incidents to the Observatory of Safety in schools. Well, there is a more recent measure that reflects the concern of the Ministry of Education with the problems of violence and bullying. It's a blended learning course on violence and conflict management in school. This course is being offered by the University of Coimbra and was planned and is now being implemented by the team coordinated by João Amado, and includes also me and Teresa and another colleague. This course is being offered during this school year to 2,000 and to 25 teachers of basic and secondary education. Now, I would like to give you an overview about the use of ICT in Portugal. The use of ICT, like mobile phones and internet, has increased a lot recently. And for example, in Portugal, according to a study by the National Communications Authority, Portugal is one of the countries with the highest penetration rate of mobile telephone services in Europe. And this rate is above the European Union rate. Also, data from the Eurobarometer shows that, for example, children aged 6 to 17 years have a mobile phone, according to, of course, this according to parents' perspective. This data was obtained with parents. So the use of mobile phones has increased, but also the use of internet. With regard to internet, I have some data from Eurostat that shows that from 2006 to 2010, the percentage of households with internet access increased from 35 to 54%. And of course, in the households with children, the percentage of internet access is higher than in households without children. So Portuguese people use internet in a regular basis. I have here data from Marktest, and recent data relate about 2010, and we can see that from 1997 to 2010, the percentage of households with internet access increased from 2.4 to 62.9. It's a great increase. Also, the broadband connection is available in 58% of the houses. The use of internet. Well, in the total population, we have 57.1% who uses the internet regularly. But the rate of users, the percentage of users is higher in the younger population. We can see that between 15 years and 17 years, almost the percentage of users is very near from 100%. And young people and people in general use internet to communicate. For example, people use to send and receive emails, to post messages, to chat sites, blogs, social networking sites, to do phone calls, and there are no big difference between the age groups with regard to the use of email and phone calls. But in what is concerned with posting message to set sites or blogs or social networking, well, the percentage of users is higher in the younger population. Also, the use of social networking sites has increased. As you can see, we have a very high percentage of users among these age groups. And it is interesting because till 2009, i5 was the social network more used. And from 2009 to 2010, the use of Facebook exceeded hi5. So the Facebook is now the one accessed by a larger number of Portuguese people. So the ICT, the information and communication technologies, are very important in young people's lives and very important in their social relationships. They use it to...
Da gehe ich nicht drauf, wie jetzt im Chat klicken willst.
Yes.
Habe ich schon gedrückt? Oh nee. Sorry. Ich habe gedrückt.
I think, Armanda, you can continue.
Okay.
I think that was Urban. He just pressed the wrong button. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I was saying that the messenger is used for a large number of people. Well, I have a problem in the sound.
Urban, I think you have your microphone open. Could you please shut it down? Otherwise, we hear what you're talking in the background. Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think it's working now. Well, young people use the messenger, the email, post pictures or information on the internet. They use it a lot to contact friends. They even say that they contact friends when they are unhappy, according to those studies, Cardoso et al., and also the study from by the Regulatory Authority for Communication. So I can say that there is an interesting feature of the use of media in Portugal that I suppose is similar to other countries, especially in this younger generation, and that is the growing trend towards multitasking. The simultaneous exposure to various media among young people is increasingly common. The coordination between different activities. They can watch TV while surfing the internet or sending text messages via mobile phones, for example. Also data from Eurobarometer and from Marktest in Portugal show that there is a tendency to use internet and also mobile phones at an earlier age. We can see also that despite the fact that Portuguese parents are not the ones that use internet more often, they are, however, among the most concerned with the use of ICT by their children, including the issue of cyberbullying is a concern for them. I have some data also. Now that I presented you some information about the use of ICT in Portugal, I have some data about the research on bullying and specifically on cyberbullying. With regard to bullying, I present here two different studies. There are several studies in Portugal. Some of them use the all-use questionnaire, and some of them use the questionnaire of a project to health behavior of school-aged children. And for example, these two studies, the first one was made with a sample of 581 students in the third cycle of basic education, and reveals that 17% told they were victims of bullying, 18% told they were aggressors, they have been aggressors, and 7% victims and aggressors. And the more recent data shows that this one with a sample of a larger sample of 6,131 students. This study reveals that 13% say they are victims, 5% bullies, and 6% bullies and victims. In this case, 2 or 3 times per month or more. Well, now with regard to cyberbullying, specifically to cyberbullying. Cyberbullying has raised in Portugal recent concerns among parents, politicians, teachers, security forces, and is increasingly referred in media. During last year, we had a lot of news about incidents of cyberbullying, some of them with consequences, serious consequences. But despite this increased concern, there is still a limited number of studies about this subject. And so many of the studies are made with non-representative samples, what makes it difficult to form a realistic picture of the situation in Portugal. Nevertheless, there are some research, and for example, the project UKIS Online tried to offer an overview not of cyberbullying, but in this case of the research on children and ICT, and try to understand what attention has been given to the risks and opportunities that use of new technologies involve. And what does this project shows? This project reports 10 Portuguese studies on internet till 2007, but all based on unrepresentative samples. And according to the researchers, the issue of risks is not present in those studies. So it seems that there is an optimistic perspective about the advantage of ICT in Portugal, and this perspective is consistent and coherent with the public speeches about the use of ICT. In Portugal, last years, the government has implemented some measures in order to, for example, equip schools with the new technologies, give training for teachers, offered training for teachers, but many of these actions are focused only on the use of ICT and not on the safe and responsible use of ICT. So there is mainly a very technological perspective. I must refer a study about cyberbullying, specifically about cyberbullying, by Almeida and collaborators. This study tried to understand the relation between cyberbullying and patterns of empathy and moral disengagement in adolescent offenders, victims and bystanders. Well, the sample consisted of students in 7th, 8th and 9th grades, and I have here some data. 6% of girls and 3% of boys have been bullied through mobile phones, and 6% girls and 4% boys have been victims through the internet. And With regard to the bullies, we have the opposite numbers. 3% girls and 5% boys had bullied others through mobile phones. And 2% girls and 4% boys had bullied others through internet. There is a more recent and very interesting study developed by Campus. This study was made in the context of a master's degree and with a sample of 115 students from 5th to 12th grades, aged between 10 and 26 years. Well, what were the results that were found? 74% were victims of bullying, said they were victims of bullying, and 9 and 6% said they had bullied others. And also, Campus found a percentage of 27 bystanders. This specifically, I am talking about bullying. With regard to cyberbullying, we have lower numbers. For example, 80.7% of cyber victims, 66.1% of cyberbullies, and 21.7% of bystanders. And it was found a correlation between bullying and cyberbullying. Okay, so the ones that were victims of bullying were also victims of cyberbullying, had been also victims of cyberbullying. And it is interesting to see that, for example, there is a different use of technology among cyber victims and cyberbullies. Bullies spend more time with technologies and know and use more security strategies on the internet. So it seems that here the bullies has this advantage that in the case of bullying has to do, for example, with physical attributes. Now here we see that the bullies know more about how to use the internet. The Campus did not find differences between males and females, and among those that were victims, 34.6% said they didn't know the aggressor. Well, among the victims, 65.9% said that they didn't tell anyone that they were being bullied. 34% said they told someone, who? Friends and colleagues, and 43%, and family, friends and colleagues, 37.5%. Well, this is a recent study that shows interesting data about on cyberbullying. Oh, I forgot to say that these students answered in printed questionnaires, but also questionnaires online, and were from different cities. There is also a study by Ventura, but it's now under development, so we don't have too much information about it. We know that the study is being implemented with students in the third cycle of basic education. 934 students. An online questionnaire is being used, and the data that we have is that 10% said that they have been victims of cyberbullying. Now, in face of this lack of research in Portugal, in order to give a first step towards overcoming this lack of representative studies, the Portuguese team of the cyber training project submitted a proposal in Portugal to the Foundation for Science and Technology, which has been approved for state funding. And this project is now being implemented through the collaboration between a team from Coimbra and a team from the University of Lisbon, and has as main aims the diagnosis of the nature and extent of cyberbullying in a sample of students in basic and secondary education, and in the first year of university, and also to contribute to a better understanding of the phenomenon of cyberbullying in order to create preventive and intervention measures and projects. The main problem is divided in more specific questions related to the contexts in which cyberbullying occurs, the personal characteristics of the participants, the electronic devices that are used in those incidents. This project includes two different stages. A first stage where an open questionnaire has been used. We are now analyzing the data of this open questionnaire, and then we are now preparing also the interviews to deepen the information obtained through the questionnaires. This is being done with students in compulsory education and also in the first year of university. And then we will have a second stage where a questionnaire, we will have to elaborate a questionnaire based on the results of the first stage, and we aim to obtain a larger sample of students in different regions from different regions in Portugal. Well, the analysis, we have made already some analysis, and they are not complete. So I tried to bring today some data that we obtained with a sample of 163 students from 7th, 8th, and 11th grades. These students are 10 to 19 years old, 42.9% female and 57 male. So what are the results that we have till now? We have 96% students saying that they have been victims of bullying through the internet or mobile phone. 11% say they had bullied others, and 33% said that they know someone that has been victim of cyberbullying. We found no differences in victims, no differences between males and females, the number of males and females. But in the case of bullies, we have more significant differences. We have more males than females. All those who have been bullied, 25% didn't know the aggressor. 56.4% of the bystanders say that they did something to help the victims. And what were the tools used in this cyberbullying behaviors? The email, but with a little percentage, the SMS with the highest percentage, the messenger follows the SMS, the i5, Facebook, and 25% said that they have been victims through different of these several tools. We can see here and that among the bystanders, 56.4% said that they did something to help. Well, we try to see what kinds of actions they took, and we have very interesting answers from these bystanders. For example, one said that said, I tried to help her, understanding that she has no fault. Another one said that I tried to help to have no fear. There's another testimony saying that I tried to defend her and help her understanding what was going on. I told her to block the contacts in Messenger and change the telephone number. For example, another one said that I talked to my mother and told her to talk with my friend's parents to help her solving the problem. And we have another student that said, I talked to her and told her the danger the danger involved, and tried to convince her to tell her parents what was going on. So interesting actions that these bystanders say they did to try to help the victims of cyberbullying. Another one say that I tried to stop the aggressions. I talked to both parts, the victim and the aggressor. Well, this is the data that we have till now. We hope in the next years, in the next 2 years, to have more complete data to present. And now I would like to tell you about what is going on in Portugal in the specific field of the legislative measures. Well, despite the fact that these problems, the problems of internet safety, have turned it into a widespread concern, there is no specific legislation on cyberbullying. However, we have the criminal code that covers crimes committed through computers, such as threatening and coercing. To harmonize the national laws of member states of the European Union on crime committed via the internet and other computer networks, and to facilitate international cooperation. Also in 2009, the law on cybercrime was approved in Portugal, and this law aims to adapt the Portuguese law to the Convention of Cybercrime. But the more recent measure was implemented this year, very recently, in January. A new law creates, it doesn't specify the cyberbullying, but it creates the crime of school violence and establishes different penalties for the cases of school violence, for the cases of violence committed in the school contexts. And jail penalties go from 1 to 5 years, and in more serious cases, they can go to 10 years of jail. So, in Portugal, young people are under 16 years old are not submitted to this kind of law, are not submitted to the criminal code, but after 18 years old, they are covered by these laws, the criminal code and this specific law on school violence. Well, I think that I already presented the main aspects regarding cyberbullying, the research, the legislation, and so I don't know if you have questions till now. Do you want to say something? Oh. I will proceed then. The actions. I would like now to talk about the actions against cyberbullying in Portugal. I must say that the action has not focused on cyberbullying directly, but is mainly focused on the issue of e-safety. And many initiatives are implemented in connection with European policies. The first example is the project Dados, developed by the National Commission for Data Protection and the Ministry of Education. This project aims to raise students' awareness of the issues of data protection and privacy, and to promote the conscious use of new technology and to develop this civic awareness of children and young people. What is being done in the context of this project? Well, for example, the website provides information and resources, a blog for young people with games, stories to support students' learning. Competitions are proposed to schools so the students can participate, for example, by making videos, posters on the issue of internet safety. It's a very interesting project. And another initiative, another measure, or another action is implemented by the Criminal Investigation Police that is integrated in the Ministry of Justice. Well, the Criminal Investigation Police provides information and guidance on the risks of internet and what to do to prevent and deal with this kind of problems. How? For example, through their websites, through interventions in schools, and additionally, and in the context of the technological plan for education implemented by the government, the regional boards of education celebrated protocols with the Criminal Investigation Police. And in the context of these protocols, different actions are being developed. There is a joint plan regarding the prevention of crime against children and young people committed through new information technologies. And these joint plans allow the holding of, for example, meetings, conferences in schools, different raising awareness activities for teachers, schools, governing bodies, parents associations. But the project that has more is more visible and is very important is the Internet Segura or Safe Internet. The Internet Segura is developed by the Portuguese, or represents the Portuguese Internet Safety Awareness Node of the European Union Information Societies in Safe Network. It is developed by a consortium, coordinated by the Knowledge Society Agency, the Ministry of Education, the Foundation for National Scientific Computing, and also Microsoft. This project, Internet Segura, aims to promote the informed and critical use of the Internet, both by children, young people, families, and the wider community. But it has a specific dimension directed at schools, to schools. This is a project of SeguraNet, or SafeNet in English. Okay, this SeguraNet project is implemented by the Ministry of Education, provides guidelines, resources for students, parents, teachers, and schools. The wider projects, the Internet Segura, is directed, as I said before, to schools and the wider community, and it has, for example, it offers a portal or a website with different information and resources. It develops awareness-raising activities, like, for example, the Safer Internet Day last February. It offers also an internet hotline. And I know that Internet School is now preparing a protocol with Vodafone, a mobile phone company, to develop some actions on this issue, on the issue of safety internet, safe internet. I have here some examples of what is being done in the context of these projects. For example, the SeguraNet, the school dimension of the Internet, provides students with different resources, online games, about safe Internet use. For parents, they offer guiding manuals, tips for dealing with aggressive users online. There are specific contents addressing cyberbullying, but not only cyberbullying, okay? Teachers can find also manuals for different school levels, and schools are invited to participate in competitions with teams of students, teachers, and even parents are invited to participate in some initiatives. For children and young people, the SeguraNet provides, for example, information about the precautions in the use of different communication tools, games, quizzes, interactive stories. There is also a specific website for young people safe online, that offers advices, lesson plans. And I have here two different links, two examples of interactive stories that young people can find online. And if you can check on the website of Internet Segura, you will see that these are very interesting resources for different age groups. Yes, you can see, for example, the first one. First one is yes. Check. The first one is about the internet. Its name is Infinite Forests. It's a metaphor to represent the internet. And the second one, Friends of Anna. Also a very interesting story, interactive. Students can choose options, respond to answers, and well, it's, if you can, you should check and see the resources that are offered in this website. But there are some initiatives, also some initiatives targeting teachers. There is a concern during last years to promote the use of ICT in schools, to equip schools with new technologies, and to offer training. Although, as I told before in the beginning, training is mainly focused on the use, how to use internet. But I must say that there is already in the new system of training and certification of ICT implemented last July, in July 2009. In this training and certification courses for teachers, the issue of internet safety is already covered, which is very good. other initiatives, not governmental, but different initiatives. For example, I must refer the work of an individual initiative, the work of Tito de Moraes. Tito de Moraes has developed a project that aims to help children, families, schools, and communities to promote online safety for children and young people, in which cyberbullying has been addressed. And it's a very interesting project, and I advise you that if you can also check his website, Safe Kids Online, Miúdos Seguros na Net, in Portuguese, and you will see it's an individual initiative, but Tito de Moraes has done a lot of work in Portugal in order to promote the safe use of internet. Well, other initiatives, for example, the National Association of Teachers, that provides also advice and support for teachers, and puts forward a project to promote a good school environment and prevent violence and bullying in schools, and offers also a helpline that provides support to deal with bullying situations, including cyberbullying. And also the Institute for Child Support, that aims to create a mediation space where the students can find someone who listens and becomes aware of their problems. Well, in sum, the novel issue of cyberbullying in Portugal, as in other countries, along with the question of how to make best use of new technologies, is an important concern nowadays, but there is a lot to do in terms of research and also specific actions and initiatives to prevent and tackle cyberbullying. I forgot to include in the PowerPoint a new initiative, very recent, that is now being developed by the University of Coimbra. It is the iTunes collection. I don't know if you already heard about iTunes collection. One of you? No? Yes? Yes, very briefly. Very briefly, I can tell you that the iTunes is a collection of Apple that offers free audio and video content. From leading education institutions. Okay, you can find in the, for example, iTunes website different products, and you have free access to those audio or video contents that are available. And the University of Coimbra has become the first higher institution in Portugal to join iTunes. The University of Coimbra is preparing different collections from different faculties about different subjects, but in our case, we were invited to prepare a collection of episodes with the subject from indiscipline to cyberbullying. And the first episode about indiscipline is already available, and we are now planning more episodes, and we suppose 1 or 2 episodes about cyberbullying. One, we want to to use one of those episodes to present the cyber training manual, and we hope to have Thomas' collaboration maybe next June. And the second episode may be about the characterization of the problem, how to prevent, how to tackle cyberbullying. So these episodes will be available online in the iTunes collection, and it's like a free repository of audio, videos from different institutions, different universities. So we hope that those episodes about cyberbullying that we will go to prepare will be a good resource for those who want to know more about this subject. There are also other initiatives that I can refer to, for example, from internet providers and other companies. Microsoft Portugal, who cooperates with the government and with the Internet Segura to promote the safe use of internet. And, for example, Sapo is a portal in Portugal that also offers, you can find their recommendations as a set of good practices for students, for parents, for schools. And I think I said the most important things I had prepared. We hope to have in the next 2 years more information and data to characterize the problem of cyberbullying in Portugal, produced in the context of the project that we are now developing. We are now also participating in a new project coordinated by Thomas, the Cyber Training for Parents, that aims to provide face-to-face as well as moderated and self-directed online courses on cyberbullying for parents. So we hope in the next few years to have more to tell you about the implementation of these training courses for parents in Portugal, and also about the evaluation of those training courses. I brought some links and, for example, websites on cyberbullying here that you can see after if you want in the document that will be available, I think in PDF. And also some examples, for example, guidelines and training manuals that are offered by the institutions that I referred, by the projects that I referred previously, by the Internet, Safe Internet, by the SeguraNet, the School Dimension of Internet. Okay, there are here are some sites and some useful, interesting initiatives. For your attention. If you have questions, please feel free to ask what you want. Thank you very much for your attention.
And a big thank you also from our side, Armanda, also for having been brave enough to make this presentation here in Second Life without having so much previous experiences with virtual world. So a big thanks from our side. It was really incredibly interesting.
Very much.
Well, maybe a comment from my side, something we already discussed when we met for the cyber training project. I was pretty impressed.
I can't hear you very well. It's very low, okay. the sound.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. Just a short comment from my side, something we already discussed when we met for the cyber training project. I was really surprised in a way how much is going on in Portugal and also in other countries. I remember pretty well when we wrote the proposal for the cyber training project, which was in late 2007. There was hardly any material or resources or programs, projects on cyberbullying in most European countries. And it's really amazing how much is going on in the meantime, not only in Portugal, but in most of the European countries. And probably that's a question to the whole group here. How is it in your countries? If I remember right, some of you were from Belgium. I'm not sure, Ines, where you are from. But it would be interesting to share if you make the same experiences in your country.
Well, yes, it is not easy to find the information about the study of Almeida online. You can find the communication presented in the Congress of School Violence, in the first Congress on School Violence. I think the coordinator of the book is the Aster, so maybe you can find the results in that book. we are still analyzing the data. We have more subjects, and we hope in the next month to have more complete information about the prevalence of cyberbullying. How it was measured? We elaborated the questionnaire. A more open. It's an open questionnaire in which we ask students to describe. First, we start by asking if they have been involved. We don't specify any period of time, so maybe that explain the highest percentage. We just ask if they have been victims of cyberbullying, or if they have bullied others through internet or mobile phone. Okay, and then we have open questionnaires asking them to describe what they have been experienced, and or what they have done, what kind of devices they use. Now we must make the content analysis of these answers, so we can have a more complete picture of these incidents that are reported by the students. But the numbers were obtained through specific questions. If they have you already been victim of, and we explain what is cyberbullying first, and ask them if they have been already victims of cyberbullying, and or if they have witnessed some kind of incident, or if they know or have witnessed this kind of aggression. This is it. We now need to analyze the answers obtained with the open questions to understand better this data. But it was also surprising for us, this large percentage of cyberbully victims. Maybe it has to do with the fact that we didn't specify the period, for example, last year or last semester, but we just asked if they have been victims. I don't know if I answered your question. Because in this first stage of the study, we want to, and by analyzing the data, the answers, we want to find useful information to elaborate the questionnaire that will be used in the second stage. That's why we made these open questions. I hope so.
Are there any further questions to Armanda? Well, if not, we can close the session for today. Again, Armanda, I would like to thank you very, very much for having made this presentation today about the situation in Portugal. I think many of us learned a lot, and I think I hope that for you it was a good experience as well, maybe a bit strange, a bit different than face-to-face courses at university, but hopefully encouraging enough for the future that you will attend the campus again and maybe will come to further presentations. And also to the audience, a big thanks for having been here. Before you all leave, I would like the ones of you who have not filled in the evaluation questionnaire yet to complete it. I will just post it here. It would be great if you could fill it in. The ones of you who have already attended sessions before know that it's incredibly important for us to get a feedback from you all, to learn from your experiences, and also to have something that we can use for evaluating the outcomes of our session. Maybe one or the other from you would like to download the presentation from Armanda. It's available online. I will also post the PowerPoint. This is the address where you can download the PowerPoint. Okay, so thanks a lot to all of you, especially to Armanda, and I hope to see you again here at the campus soon. Thank you very much, Armanda.
Thank you very much, and for your attention. It was a very interesting experience, yes.
Thank you.